Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Om Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Paramanandamadhavam. Om Achaturvadano Brahma Dvibahuraparo Harihi Abhalalochana Shambhu Bhagavan Badarayanaha. Om Dakshine Lakshmano Yasya Vame tu Janakatmaja Purato Marutir Yasya Tam Vande Raghunandanam. Hari Om. This Shri Rama Geeta, which is a part of the Uttara Kanda of Shri Adhyatma Ramayana, which is written by Bhagavan Vedavyasji. After leaving Sita ji in Valmiki Rishi's ashram, Shri Ramchandra ji continued fulfilling his duties, living a very austere life, following the footsteps of his ancestors. At this time, what happened to him was a question raised by Parvati ji to Bhagavan Sadashiva. And Shivji in reply said, Lakshman ji used to ask him certain questions on dharma, karma, and he used to reply, he used to give various examples like that of King Nriga. At one time, when Lakshman ji approached him with great humility and requested him for the knowledge that would take one across the ocean of samsara quickly, anjasa. And being very pleased that a qualified disciple is asking such a significant question that not only will benefit him, but everyone else afterwards also. Shri Ramchandra ji, the Guru of Shri Rama Geeta, begins his discourse by first talking about the qualification of the student and how that qualification is attained, that is through following our duties as per the scriptures. So therefore, regular study of the scriptures and living according to the injunctions of the scriptures based on our varna and ashrama, our position and stage in life, thus gaining purity of mind, giving up all the habits, the old habits of having doership, etc., and developing the fourfold qualification, Viveka, Vairagya, etc., one has to go to the Sadguru, a guru who is well versed in scriptures and established in the Supreme Self. Then Sri Ramchandra ji said, understand the very cause of this bondage which we want to cross over. So the cause is Ajnanam, because of which there are desires, because of which there is action. And when action is performed, due to that, the result of the actions, result is in the form of different bodies we take up. When we take up bodies, we perform good and bad actions. And as a result of good and bad actions, there is dharma, adharma, punya, papa, etc. And then again this cycle continues. So the root cause of this cycle is Ajnanam, avidya. So it cannot be eliminated by karma which is born out of Ajnana. So it has to be only with vidya or jnanam. Now there was also a view of the Samuchayavadins which was presented. Bhagavan said there are many people who think that vidya alone cannot do much. There has to be the support of karma also. And why are you saying that? The scriptures themselves say that karma has to be performed. If you do not perform karma, then there will be different penalties, which is called dosha or papa, etc. So, therefore, karma is inevitable. They have to be performed. And yes, vidya may eliminate avidya, but not by herself. Vidya needs the support of karma also. So here the Bhagavan says these are that incomplete thinkers who have not thought enough. They come to such conclusion. And it is not a school of thought of the past. We saw that it is. We also think like that when we always stress upon just by knowing what is going to happen, just by gaining what is going to happen. And here we have to understand it is not knowing at the level of the intellect alone that we are very familiar with. Yes, I know this, I have this knowledge. Not knowledge of an object, but here what is called as jnanam or vidya is the direct experience of the self, my true nature. So it is experiential in nature and not just a burden of information that we are talking about. Because yes, burden of information, that information we gather and then nothing is going to happen by just gathering information. But here what jnanam is talking about is that which eliminates this ajnanam. And what is the nature of this ajnanam? I am considering myself to be something else that I am not. So the very fact that I am considering myself to be the body, that itself proves that I do not know who I really am. If I suddenly consider myself to be the shirt, and when the shirt gets torn, I feel I am torn. When the shirt is washed, I feel I am being washed. When the shirt is put to dry, I feel I am hanging there. If that happens, then it is the result of not knowing who I really am. Therefore, I am considering myself. With the example of shirt, I understand the example. Same way, if I understand that this body also is like a shirt only that I am wearing. But I am considering myself to be the body today. And because I am this body, therefore, I do not know, or rather, I do not know, therefore I consider myself to be this body, and then I keep on performing various actions. So therefore, this identification with the body is a necessary precondition for action to be performed. Because there has to be a doer of the action, and the doer comes into existence when there is identification with the body. When the doer himself is not there, then there is no action possible. And what is the nature of knowledge? Nature of knowledge is I have to give up this identification with the body because I am not this body. Simple. Therefore, I have to give up this identification and get established in who I really am. So, karma needs the doer, that is, needs the identification with the body, and jnanam needs that this identification goes away. This doer should not be there. This doer only is called the jiva or the ego. Now, this ego is required for karma to exist, and ego should go away for knowledge to happen. Now, how can karma support knowledge? Karma is in the opposition party. Karma belongs to avidya lineage. Avidya, kamana, karma. So, this avidya only is strengthened if we are only indulging in karma. So, how should be the karma? Already said, according to my varna and ashrama, I have to perform all my duties as a dedicated offering to the Lord. That dedicated action only will take me away from this attachment of karma and take me away from this identification with the body, and therefore this karma alone cannot help me. Karma cannot even assist this knowledge. Karma will not exist when this knowledge is. Both are opposed to each other. Like we had taken an example, if I want to watch TV and at the same time want to sleep. For watching TV, I need my eyes closed, for eyes open, and to sleep, I need my eyes closed. Opposed to each other. For watching TV, I need to be awake. Sleep, that wakefulness has to go. That is only called sleep. So both cannot happen simultaneously. Similarly, this jnana and karma samuchaya cannot happen. So this, why is this being stressed upon so much? That is because even after studying a lot, at the end of it, we only ourselves, our intellect only will pose this question. Okay, yes, pata to chal gaya, abhi karna kya hai? Give me some practical tips. Our intellect only will pose this question. Now, karna kya? If something is required to be done, then knowledge has not happened. Because if knowledge has happened, then there is nothing more to be done. There is nothing more to be gained. There is nothing more even to be known. It's done. So if I have woken up from my dream, then there is no action of the dream remaining to be done. Why? I have woken up. Now that entity who was doing in the dream doesn't exist. I have known my real identity, that I am not that one who was roaming around or feeling so many different things and experiencing so many things in the dream. I am not that entity. I know now. So therefore, that nothing needs to be done after that. So to again stress upon this, verse number 15, we have read it once, we will read again. Vishuddha vijnana virochananchita Vidyatma vrittischcharameti bhanyate Charameti bhanyate Udeti karma khilakarakadibhihi Nihanti vidya khilakarakadikam. So this vidya, what is vidya? What is this knowledge? So here it is said, vidya iti bhanyate. This is called vidya. Acha, what is this vidya? First, vishuddha vijnana virochana anchita. that which is arrived at, gained through a pure intellect. That purity is gained through what? Karma Yoga. Already I pointed out. In the very beginning of Bhagavan's discourse, it is pointed out that this purity is gained by performing Karma Yoga. Means, what is Karma Yoga? Performing our duties as an offering to the Lord and accepting the results as prasad. Kartavya karma plus Ishvara Arpana Buddhi plus Prasada Buddhi is equal to Karma Yoga. Already Bhagavan has pointed out in the very beginning. This pure intellect alone is going to lead me to this knowledge. This purity is required, it's a prerequisite. So, karma as Karma Yoga is a necessary thing for a sadhaka, for preparation, but not for knowledge to happen. For preparing us for knowledge, yes, it is required. For example, when we have firewood, it has to be in the sun and it has to dry up completely. That drying up is this Karma Yoga. Now when it is the wood is dry, little just a spark coming from the words of the Guru immediately catches fire. So the Shishya has that pure intellect is there, sitting in front of the Guru. Guru Upadesha comes, done. Job is done. But if that drying has not happened, that Karma Yoga doesn't take place, I do not perform my duties as a dedicated offering to the Lord, then it will be like the wet firewood, which it will catch something, but there will be only smoke and smoke. There is no fire, no brilliance, no clarity. Smoke will be there. Something, that time I understood. After that, I don't know what happened. Sometimes we also have this, we are listening to Gurudev's talks and all. Now, yes, I can understand. And then as soon as it is over, then I understood at that time. Now what happened, I don't know. Gone, smoke came now. Because that full dryness is not there. Only preparation takes time. Knowledge happens in a moment. So this Vishuddha Vijnana Virochana Anchita. In this way, this Vidya. And what is the process? So the process is indicated in many other scriptures. Here we should understand that Lakshmana ji is the student. So too much elaboration is not required for a student like Lakshmana ji. So that is why Bhagavan is just kind of telling him few words and said, Lakshman, you know this, right? So let's move ahead. I don't have to elaborate on this. Because that Lakshman ji is supposed to be, like, he is considered as the embodiment of Vairagya. Of this Vivek, Vairagya, Samadhi, Sampatti, Mumukshutvam, all these things, the most difficult that we all feel is Vairagya. I am not able to, that detachment, attachment is so much. And we all have our own different sets of attachments. It will not be matching. So therefore, that is why we are all social beings. Because somebody else's attachment, I will be very dispassionate and, you grow out of it. This is too much of attachment. Because I have other things that I am attached to. So in that case, that same person will come and advise me, you are too attached to this. So we have different sets, but attachment is common. So here, this detachment, such a great disciple, Lakshman ji himself is. So Bhagavan is just indicating that what is this, how does this Vidya take place? What is it that is called Vidya? It is not just information. Guru's Upadesha one hears, Shravanam. And once one hears it, completely I understand it. What do I understand? What does the scripture have to say? What is the subject matter of the scriptures? It is very clear to me. That is the outcome of Shravanam. What does the text want to say? What does the Guru want to say? to have clear understanding of that is called Shravanam. Shravana is successful only when we have total clarity as to what the scripture or guru wants to say. What is the subject matter? That Tatparya Nirnay has to happen. Once that clarity comes, then I start thinking about it. And it is not like I have completed Shravan now. Now I am going to the stage of Manan. So now if Guru says, I will tell you something else. No, my Shravan is over. Now keep quiet. Now I have to do. It is not like that. We have to, when we are going through this process of Shravanam, automatically any healthy intellect will also start thinking. Sometimes while listening itself, that reflection is happening. May not be consciously, but it is happening back of the mind. But sometimes I have listened to little bit and then my Mananam begins along with it, side by side. And when that Mananam happens, I start thinking that I know now exactly what the scripture is saying. Because of Shravanam. That is Guru's grace, Shastra Kripa and Guru Kripa. But after that, I am thinking that my experience is quite different from what has been said here. I don't find it this way. Now, Shastra says, I am Ananda Swarupa. Little bit also I don't experience this. Dukkha Swarupa, yes, 24/7, I understand this. If you say, why don't you change little bit in the scripture, say you are Dukkha Swarupa, then I will have knowledge, no Mananam required. Why? Because it is my direct experience, even today. But then that is not the truth, what to do? I am eternal, Nitya. I don't feel. I feel there is constant change and I feel scared of change. I am not comfortable with change. See, this is a very peculiar thing of our mind. On one side of the mind, I want change. What is this daily boring change? And then we say, okay, let us change. Oh, no, don't change. With very great difficulty, I have settled down now. Now don't change anything. So we want change, but we don't want change. What kind of buddhi is this? Demanding two opposite things simultaneously. थोड़ा चेंज मिल सकता है, हाँ चेंज करते हैं पूरा, नहीं सब कुछ चेंज मत करो. So this aspect, when I read in the scriptures, I totally understand clearly what the scriptures say, what the Guru wants to say, but I don't find myself in that position. I am not experiencing that. And this difference forces me to think, how do I reconcile this? How do I bring this knowledge that I have heard to be my experience? It is not happening now. It is completely different. So this process of reflection, and in this process, Shraddha, Bhakti, both are very important. Bhakti for what? So that my mind remains there. Devotion or love for that knowledge has to be there. Because if there is no love, mind will go here and there. That is why doing something is easy. That is why we go and ask the Guru, Guru, what should I do? You tell me. Guru says, you study the scriptures, think about it, reflect about it. Don't say such thing. Can I massage your feet? Why? Because easy. आश्रम में झाड़ू लगा दूं मैं? क्यों? It is easy. Because it is physical labor. I can do that. You tell me any seva you want, you do. Guru says, walk on the path that I have shown you. That is, let us be practical, Guru. You tell me something to do, I am doing. But thinking difficult. Reflection difficult. And we cannot, our mind doesn't stay there for long. It is very difficult. That is why thinking is also called as tapas. We call it jnanamayam tapaha. Just reflection, it is very difficult. Doing physical labor is easy. So this mananam, without bhakti, it is not possible. Without love, mind doesn't stay there. It's not possible. And Shraddha, faith. Why Shraddha is required? That whatever I have heard and clearly understood as the subject matter of the scripture that Guru wants to say, that is true. Then, if my experiences do not match with that, what do I have to align? Not the scripture, but my experiences. I have to think about this to be aligned to that, and not that to align to myself. I think there is a printing mistake. Is there a printing mistake? This is Anand Swarup. I think there is something missing here, no? See, Dukkha Swarupa, it fits also perfectly well, I think some mistake, Bhagavan Ramji has made some mistake. So Ramji has made a mistake. Guru is making mistake, but our experiences are real. That is lack of Shraddha. Shraddha means scripture is well established. People have walked this path. People have realized their true nature. They have got liberation. And this is a parampara that has been going on since beginningless times. So if this is the case, it's a time-tested knowledge where people have gained the ultimate liberation through this knowledge. And I consider my experiences to be the final. So the benchmark or the reference point of alignment is the scriptures and not my experiences. My experiences are all haywire. So I have to try and align them. This is mananam. Where all these doubts, how can that be? How can I be infinite? It is not possible. Okay, let's think about it. And the scripture only helps us. Guru helps us how to think. What kind of logic I can use? Not any kind of logic is possible. To know what are traffic rules. Logically speaking, everybody is going in this direction. So this is the direction to go. Can I conclude based on everybody? There may be a time everybody is going wrong side. So how can I say that everybody is disregarding the signal, red light. So red light means you should go. Why? Because I am seeing everybody is going. That cannot be the logic. It is a fallacious logic. Kutarka. Or lack of logic. What kind of logic you are using? Everybody is doing, so you will also do? No. So how to think also the scripture is guiding us. Mananam. And then through this mananam, viveka vicharam, then what happens? Then there is clarity, no doubt, even with respect to my experiences. That I am experiencing like this because of this reason. But actually this is the truth I understand now. It has kind of been assimilated now, this knowledge. Mananam. Then after mananam also, although there are no doubts whatsoever, it is completely clear, but still, I am not able to experience. Why am I not able to experience? Because this old habit of, I am this body, I am this body, I am this body, I am this body, this is a habit. And we never speak these words. I never say I am this body. Without consciously identifying, I still identify. And I live like that. So this long-term wrong practices, erroneous notions, they take time to go away. Like those stubborn stains on the cloth. Sometimes 2-3 times we have to wash and rub, and then it might slowly go. So similarly, this also long term. So to get rid of such vipreet bhavana, I need to practice meditation, contemplation, which is called nididhyasanam or dhyanam. In dhyanam, I have to shift my identification or existence from I am this body to I am that self. This is called Atma Vritti, Charama Atma Vritti. The last thought modification. It is a thought yet not a thought. Charama Atma Vritti. So that it begins with a thought, because after all I have heard Shravanam, I have reflected Mananam, both are happening as thoughts only. So this contemplation also begins as a thought. But it is the last thought after which there is no thought. Like Puja Gurudev gives this example of a pole vault. Want to jump high and go beyond. For that, you take the pole in your hand. The athlete runs with the pole, fixes the pole at the right point, and takes a jump with the support of the pole, reaches the top, and then throws the pole away and goes beyond. Similarly, this last thought, what is that thought? I am that Brahman, not this body. That I am that pure consciousness. It starts as a thought, but it is not just a thought, it is not just a repetition, it is not japa. Charama vritti, like the pole, I take help of that thought, rise above, and I get established in the self. Throw the thought away. Now it is an experience. I go beyond. In the dream, if I sit down and say, I am the waker, 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 I may do malas full of japa of I am the waker, it is not going to help me wake up. So japa is not required in this stage. As a preparation, it is a best sadhana, but in this stage, this is not japa. That is a charama vritti, last, supreme, highest, ultimate. After that, there is no other vritti or thought modification. Going beyond the thought, like the pole vault athlete. So aham brahmasmi. This is called akhanda akara vritti or atma vritti, charama atma vritti. This is called vidya, that establishing or abiding in that self-knowledge. See, for us to know, let us say, I am a human being. Do we have any doubts? Others may, looking at us. But do we have any doubts? We don't have any doubts. That, yes, I am a human being. Do we repeat these words to ourselves? Every morning after getting, remember, I am a human being. I am a human being. I have to behave like a human being. I have to look at everyone as a human being. And I have to walk like a human being. I have to eat like a human being. Do I have to say these things? Because it is a direct experience. I don't have to say anything. All human beings stand up. We will stand up. It is a reflex action. I don't have to think, okay, all human beings have been asked to stand up, and I am a human being, therefore I should stand up, and then I stand. Is it a process? No, instant. It is not a thought. Yet, there is an awareness I am a human being. That is what is this charama vritti means. It is not a thought, yet a thought. It looks like a thought, but it is not a thought. We all know I am a human being. So it looks like a thought, but it is actually not a thought. It is constant awareness. Puja Guruji calls it as Sahajam Bhanam. It is that effortless awareness, like today we have, that I am a human being. Where it seems to be a thought, but it is not a thought. It is an experience. That way, when I experience, I am not this body. I am that supreme. This is called Charama Atma Vrittihi. This is called Vidya iti bhanyate. This is Vidya. And where can it take place? It can take place only in a pure intellect which has been purified through the process of Karma Yoga. So all these sadhanas are important. Puja, japa, tapa, yajna, dana, everything is important. But for what? Not to gain knowledge, but to prepare us to be able to gain knowledge. So all this help us prepare, but knowledge alone will take us beyond. So this is called Vidya. Now, this Vidya, what does this Vidya do? With respect to karma, this discussion is happening. So he says, Udeti karma akhila karakadibhihi. Udeti karma. Karma, this action, it comes into existence or it rises. Udeti udaya, suryodaya. Karma comes into existence because of what? Akhila karakadibhihi. There are different factors that bring about action. Karaka, it is called. This has been talked about in the 18th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Now, Lakshmana ji did not need elaboration. He said, Karaka Divi, okay, understood. Next, what is it? You say, what Karaka Divi, what factors bring about? So here, Puja Gurudev has given the reference on page number 34 of this book that I have. In the footnote, the reference has been given. So what does it say? It says these 5 factors that actually bring about any karma. What are these? So he says, Adhyatma. Adhyatma is this physical body. A place where the karma can take place. So this body is called Adhyatma, a place where the locus is required for the karma to happen. Tatha karta, there has to be a karta. There has to be a doer who is acting. Because action cannot happen without a performer of actions. Karta. But karta in the Adhyatma can do everything. He needs some instruments. Surgeon is there. So surgeon is the karta. Now he is in the operation theatre. So that is the Adhyatma. So in the Adhyatma, that karta is there, surgeon is there. But how will the surgeon operate upon the patient? He needs some instruments. First of all, he needs his hands, he needs his eyes, he needs his buddhi. All these instruments are also there. And of course, external instruments are there. He needs maybe a knife, he needs a scissor, he needs so many different types of... So all these instruments, karanam, cha prithak vidham, different types of instruments are required. Some are gross instruments, some are subtle instruments. All this required. So the patient was extremely nervous on the operation table. He said, Doctor, this is my first surgery. I am very nervous. Doctor said, what is this? Look at me. It is my first surgery also. I am not nervous. What is there? I will learn. I may make 1 or 2 mistakes. I will learn. You relax. So that doctor also, that surgeon is there, karta is there, but karana is required. Different instruments are required. Similarly, for this doer also, it needs the senses, the mind intellect, all these things are required. The doer is there. The ego, the jiva, ahankara, it is there. But it has, these instruments are also required. So karta, karanam cha prithak vidham. And when this karta has all the instruments, then different things it can perform. So the surgeon also doesn't keep on cutting. Surgeon, आप क्या करते हो? मैं सबका पेट फाड़ता हूँ. तो सिर्फ फाड़ते नहीं है, सीते भी हैं. So sometimes he has to remove something, sometimes he has to put something. And that doctor called the patient again. Come back. What happened? I have to redo your surgery. Said, what happened? It was like unsuccessful. नहीं मेरी घड़ी रह गई अंदर, निकालनी है अभी. So different functions. पहले घड़ी डाल दी अंदर, फिर अभी निकालनी भी है. विविधाश्च पृथक चेष्टाः. All sorts of different functions are there. So functions means not the action itself, the ability to do different things. Now see, just a hand which Bhagavan has made, what all can this one hand do? All sorts of rotation, flexibility, so much this can do. To make a machine, it will need so many different types of things to do only what one hand can do. What kind of instrument is this? How many types of functions this can do? We massage Guru's feet. Same hand. And then Guru says, why are you tickling me? Why? Because for him it is looking like tickle. Because, I don't know, क्योंकि दम तो है नहीं. आपके लिए कर रहे हैं, सेवा कर रहे हैं. मेरे लिए तो नहीं कर रहे हो, आपको अच्छा लग रहा है, करो. गुरु सहन कर लेते हैं. So tickling also the same hands do. Massaging also the same hands do. Hitting also the same hands do. There were two Shishyas, Mahatmas. Both of them were pressing 2 feet of the Guru. Guru was lying down and 2 legs were there. Both were pressing. Now, very attached to that seva. Now, by mistake, one of the Shishyas, while pressing, his hand touched that other foot of the Guru, other leg of the Guru. This said, why did you touch my foot? He said, he hit that other foot. Then this said, why are you hitting? By mistake I did, you are hitting my foot. Tuck! And both of them hit each other. Guru is saying, both are my feet, get out now. So massaging, tickling, hitting, everything, all different prithak cheshtaha. Eyes also, we say eyes are used for only seeing. But this seeing also are of different types. When the Guru looks at us with so much of love, that seeing is very different seeing. Sometimes Guru, that is enough. The definition of Guru is different. One of them is this also. Gurra aate hain, so Guru kehte hain. Seeing only, same eyes, different functions possible. So like that, prithak cheshtaha, the ability, the possibilities that are there. And daivam chaivatra panchamam. And the 5th factor is daiva. Daiva means those conditions in which the actions can happen. The conducive conditions, which is called as the devatas. For example, here Gurudev has given an example of when I want to see. This seeing as an action, first of all, I need to have a physical body in which the socket's eyes are fixed. So that is the physical adhisthana. Then there has to be the entity I who wants to see. And then the instrument, that is the indriya, the ability to see, the organ of sight. Chakshur indriya has to be there. And then That Chakshurindriya is able to see, is able to cast a loving glance, is able to stare, is able to, all these different types of abilities are there in that same instrument. And the person who is using, the ego, who is using all that. So these are all there. But if there is no light, then all this may be there, but no light, that external condition that is required for all these instruments and their functions to express, and the doer to sit in the body and do its action, nothing will happen without the conducive situation. And that is called Devata. That is why Surya is considered to be the Devata for the eyes. Because without the blessings of the sun, means light, we can't see. Similarly, other Devatas have been pointed out. So, all these 5 factors, they bring about karma. Udeti karma akhila karakadibhihi. All these different factors bring about action. Any action can happen when these 5 are there. Now, what does Vidya do? Interesting. What does Vidya do? Vidya akhila karakadikam nihanti. Nihanti, destroys, gets rid of. What? These 5. Now, if these 5 itself is gone, then what action will remain? Na rahega baas, na bajegi bansuri. So, this 5 only gone. How gone? When knowledge happens, then what happens? I am the body, I am the body, I am the body. Dropped. I am not this body. What is this body made up of? These 5 elements. So, objects and this body, same. Building blocks are the same. How can I not be the table and be the body? How is it possible? Knowledge. Adhishtan only shaken up. Then, karta. I am the doer of the action. Without action, can I remain? Action is dependent on me, or am I dependent on the action? Action depends on me. Without me, action cannot happen. Even thinking. The Western philosophers say, I think, therefore I am. But our rishis ask, if you are only not there, how will you think? Who will think? Karta has to be there for the karma to happen. That itself will not remain. Why? Because I am not the doer of any action. Action is born out of desire. Desire is born out of ignorance. Ignorance of who I am. So when that knowledge takes place, where will this karta also remain? Karanam, all these instruments. What are these instruments? Again, made up of these 5 elements. How can I be not one set of 5 elements, but I am another set of 5 elements? How can that be possible? It doesn't logically stand. And if the instruments only I am not, then what to talk of the different possibilities and functions that are there in the instruments? And the external, this whole world, this whole universe and the conducive situations. Conducive, unconducive, okay, it is all dark, my eyes cannot see, but do I cease to exist? In a dark room, if I have to check if a particular book is there, if somebody asks, okay, is there dictionary there in that book, in that room? I say, I can't see. Let me turn on the light. I turn on the light. I need that external condition, and therefore then the seeing action happens, and then I find the book, I recognize the book, and then I say, yes, it is there. So much action has been performed. But if it is dark, pitch dark, I am in the room, and somebody asks, are you there? Let me turn on the light. And then yes, I am there, yeah. I was also scared. It was so dark, I did not know whether I was there or not. Good you asked me. Otherwise, I was actually going to find myself. I had lost myself for some time. Good, the light has come back. Now I found myself. Not required. I am not any of these. All karakas, the 5 factors that influence or bring about karma, destroyed. Their very existence is destroyed by knowledge. When the knowledge takes place, then what do I have to do? Karma is not possible after that. Oh, then whoever is doing any action, he is not a jnani, no? That is what it means. We will jump to such conclusions because that is the only exercise we do. What do? Jump. Jump. How? Really? How many jumps? As much as possible. I jump to conclusions. That is my exercise every day. So what is the conclusion here? The conclusion is whoever is seen to be doing any action, such a person is not a jnani. Why? Because here it is said that as soon as vidya takes place, all karakas, the factors that bring about action only go away. So then action is not possible. So anybody who is acting. Once somebody wrote a letter to Puja Gurudev asking that, we want to know you. How do we know you? Hilarious reply Gurudev has given. Amazing. And it starts as a hilarious reply, but after that it is a very beautiful self-introduction. There Gurudev starts, I am a normal human being, I am a sannyasi, and I take bath twice a day, I eat also. All this, he's written all those things, begins with that. A lovely letter. So, I do everything. Oh, you do everything. I was going to appoint you as my guru, but sorry, you are rejected now. I have to find someone else. Actions may happen, but the doer only is not there. When the sun rises, does the sun have that doership? I have to rise and shine and illumine. I have so much of work to do. I have risen in the Far East, but now I am going to India. And after that Middle East, Europe. Then I will go to Africa, then America. I have so much of work, And then it doesn't stop there. Again go back. So much of work. Every day rising. And one place I am rising, at the same time I have to set other place. Multitasking I have to do. So much. And I myself produce these clouds. And then they only cover me up. How much problem I have in my life. What will you understand? You puny human beings. The sun is big and I have big problems. The sun does not feel any such thing. Why? Because the sun is not the doer. All actions are happening in his mere presence. He doesn't do anything. Puja Gurudev used to travel extensively. Every day, new city, new place, new people, and giving talks, teaching. Once he had a very, very hectic schedule. Just one day, morning he left from Pune, arrived at Mumbai. He was there for a couple of hours in Mumbai and then he came to Delhi. Same evening, he was in Delhi. So people were concerned. Said, Gurudev, you've been traveling so much and today only, in one day only 3 cities and that too so much. How, So Gurudev said, I don't travel. I don't go anywhere. I said, what do you mean? He said, morning, Pune was before me. Now, Mumbai is before me. By evening, Delhi will be before me. I am not going anywhere. I am not the one who am acting. I am that all-pervading self. The cities come and go. People come and go. Experiences come and go. Thoughts come and go. I am where I am. I don't move. Because I can't move. Because I can move only where I am not. When there is no place where I am already not. So therefore, so what doing? Actions may appear to be happening, but a realized master, he is not involved in the action. That is called going beyond. Because the moola karanam, that ajnanam, that ignorance has gone. So how will there be action for me? So one who is having that knowledge, who has destroyed that ignorance, for that person, no action, therefore there is no bondage of action. I have to do this, I have to, nothing. It is said even the scriptures, the Veda, cannot bind such a person. See, this same instruction from Ramchandraji started with, according to your Varna Ashrama, you have to perform your duties. But no scripture can bind a master of realization, a man of knowledge, because these 5 karakas only are not there for that person. Then that factors only which are influencing or giving rise to action, they only don't exist. Then what to talk of action itself? So they can never be bound. But still they are acting, they can act. But they are not acting like us. That's all. They are not bound to act. I have to do this. Somebody asked Gurudev, after you, what will happen to Chinmaya mission? Gurudev said, that's your problem. Narayana wanted this. It came into being. Till the time he wants, it will be there. The day he doesn't want it, it will go away. Why should I be bothered? Why? I did not do this. He did it. He will keep it running. We say such words. But a master lives like that. That is the difference. And that is why these masters are ideals for us to emulate. For them, what comes effortlessly is our sadhana. Siddhasya lakshanani sadhakasya sadhanani. So we'll proceed further. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.